Hey everybody. So I have been doing these Facebook Lives and realized I have not actually introduced myself to those who don't know me. My name is Pat Beaupre Becker and I am a certified life coach. I'm certified by Martha Beck and by the Life Coach School, Brooke Castillo, where I'm actually training in the Master Coach program, which is pretty darn fun and exciting. So I work with survivors of child sexual abuse. I coach them on various problems that they have on their relationships, at work, with themselves, because quite often survivors are really brutal to ourselves. So that is what we do, is we work together to help them build a life of confidence. I could say it shortly like that. So why do I do this work? I do this work because, number one, I believe that there are so many women and men out there who have been abused and who are not giving this world the gifts that they have. And I really believe that the world needs these gifts. And sometimes survivors have an incredible sense of compassion, and they're very aware of what's going on in the world. It's really just how do they heal themselves and participate and engage in the world with their full selves. So I think that's so important. That's one of the reasons why I do this work. And the second reason I do this work is that children are still being abused every day. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we normalize the conversation, the more chances those children have of not being heard any longer, of family members and communities being educated that we need to stop in the damage that's being done to children. So that's the reason why I do this work. So what are we doing here? So I took a page out of I've done a lot of work in 12-step programs, and one of the things that I loved, a process that was done, and I did it many years ago and more recently, is it's called AWOL, or a way of life. And this is a process where a group works together on the 12 steps 1 month at a time. And I know that we receive a lot of information: how to eat well, how to sleep well, how to be aware, how to be mindful, how to be better at work. And yet, quite often, we don't have the time to practice these skills. So I am giving a month of these Facebook Lives and kind of exercises and ways for us to consider a topic or a skill set that we can talk about and practice for a month. Still not a long time, but I think if you have a whole month to consider something, you will have more time to kind of get it into your system and get a little bit of practice. So today, so in November, we did awareness, and we talked about being aware of our thoughts, being aware of our feelings and our actions. And what I want to talk about for the month of December is connection. Of course, December, the holiday month, we have a longing for connection to family, to traditions, to many, many things, which sometimes leads us more to sentimentality and feelings of emptiness. So I believe, and what I want to talk about this month is being connected to yourself. And I want to start with, I'm going to go through different ways to be connected. So we'll talk about taking time, meditating, benevolent support, and cultivating kindness. That's what we're going to cover today. So do you remember when you were young, or not even when you were young, and you met someone you kind of fell in love with? Either it was a person of the opposite sex or the same sex, or it was even just a new friend, and how excited you were to be with them. Like, really all you wanted to do was talk to them and hang out with them. Or when someone passes in your life, somebody you love dies, and what is it you miss? You don't miss the things they did. What you miss is their presence. Or when you have a child, I know just being in my daughter's presence is enough to make me very happy. So what about being in your own presence? Can you, or do you, have that same sense of open-heartedness, of excitement, anticipation, and kindness when you hang out with yourself? Do you spend any time hanging out with yourself? So that is my first challenge to you for the month of December. And I know it's going to be a challenge because there's so much going on. But can you take up to maybe even 30 minutes a day where you can just be with yourself in a kind and open way, as if you were building a relationship that was new and promising? So that's the first challenge. So then what do you do with those 30 minutes? So I want to introduce meditation, which we talked about last month in terms of doing different breathing or noticing thoughts, mindfulness meditation. So, many things that I've read is that meditation, to be useful, it needs to at least be 10 minutes. So if you can take 10 minutes a day as part of that commitment to yourself and meditate, you will see the benefits of lower your blood pressure. I mean, your cortisol levels fall, your brain cells actually develop. There's many benefits of meditation. But there's not only a sitting meditation, which a lot of people just have a hard time sitting in one place. So I want to propose that there are alternate ways of meditation. And so there is sitting meditation where you can use, which we went over last month, which is using the breath, breathing in, breathing out, noticing, and as your thoughts come up, you just say congratulations and then go back to your breathing, noticing your breathing. So that is one form of meditation. Another form of meditation, which I actually learned with Thich Nhat Hanh, is the walking meditation. And so it is sometimes, the weather is a little bit tough, but certainly when the weather's nice, or even just walking around your house. So you just slowly walk. And what Thich Nhat Hanh teaches is with every step you say, I have arrived. You slowly walk, I have arrived. And you can come up with other things you want to say. I am here. Here I am. So with each step, you quietly say to yourself, I have arrived. And that would be a walking meditation. So for those of us who don't really like to sit. And then there's another movement meditation. So you can use yoga, tai chi, qigong, or just dancing around, finding a piece of music that inspires you, closing the door and dancing like no one's watching, and connecting to the rhythm of your internal self and connecting with joy or sadness or whatever comes up, but observing your thoughts as you move. And quite often when we move, our thoughts disappear. It's actually easier in movement to release the thoughts. And the fourth kind is something I learned recently from a friend of mine, a doctor, Alison Devers. So she taught us a shaking meditation. And so this is where you put on a music that might be a little bit more frenetic, and you just start shaking from the bottom of your toes, and you shake all the way up to the top of your head, and you do it for about 5 minutes. And I started doing that before I get in the shower, and I tell you, it feels really good. It's just kind of like shaking off the thoughts, shaking off. It's just really good for releasing and for connecting with the physical energy. And all those are also forms of meditation. So you have a choice. You can sit for 10 minutes, and if you can't sit for 10 minutes, you can actually start with 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes you can try and start with 6 minutes and build yourself up to, if you can do 30 minutes, that's 20 to 30 minutes is actually pretty beneficial, but 10 minutes is really going to give you some benefit. So that is the second challenge. Take the time and meditate. And then the other thing that I like to have people consider is, what is it you believe spiritually? Do you believe that there is benevolence in the world, or do you believe that there is evil in the world and there's no way around it? And maybe you believe that there's a duality, there's both evil and there's good. But when you consider your own spirit, what is it you believe? And when you figure out what it is you believe, does it serve you? Like for me, when I connect during meditation or even just doing my gratitude list, sorry about that, we have a little phone going on here. There we go. Sorry about that. So, it's just going to go on. Sorry. So, when I connect with my spirit. I think of it as Gus. Someone mentioned this once and I loved it. It's called Gus. Take that off. Okay, I thought I figured it out. Oh my God. I guess this is the ridiculousness of Facebook Live, but I am, thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so when I believe, so someone came up with Gus, the greater universal spirit, and that is something that really speaks to me. I grew up Catholic, and there's a belief in God, and I have a lot of trouble with those beliefs, with those specific beliefs that I grew up with. But when I think of a greater universal spirit, I can really connect with that. So what is it you believe? If you believe in God, if you are a Muslim, a Catholic, other form of Christian, what is that connection with God? And is it benevolent? Is it something that serves you? So I challenge you to really look at your beliefs and have them be for you. And then the last challenge I want is cultivating kindness. So as a survivor, one of the things that almost every survivor, not every, but almost every survivor has a real critical sense, a critical internal voice that just really puts us down and does not give us a break. And as I mentioned, just like cuts us off at the knees. So I have a little exercise that I want to give you to practice, and it's called cultivating kindness. So I want you to get a piece of paper or get your journal, and I want you to write the question, what is my opinion of myself? So you just kind of write all the thoughts that come to your mind. What is my opinion of myself? And you write a list and you kind of fill up a whole sheet of paper. So when you fill up that sheet of paper, I want you to look at it and I want you to count and list the critical thoughts and the kind thoughts. And when you see the critical thoughts, I was thinking about this morning. I know I still have this critical thought is, why can't I remember things? Why can't I remember where I put my keys? Why can't I remember this person's name? I have a lot of frustration and critical when I can't remember stuff. And it doesn't help me remember, I can tell you that. That tension does not create memory. So what you do is you look at those critical and think about, would you look at someone you loved, a close friend or your child or your mother, and would you speak to them in that way? And if you wouldn't speak to them in that way, why are you speaking to yourself that way? So I really want you to consider coming up with an alternative to that thought. What might you say that is kind, and can you turn that around and use those thoughts as part of your morning meditation? So when you do your meditation, you can also write about kind thoughts and read those kind thoughts, and you can build on that list, and we'll talk more about that in future episodes. So finally, that is the last of the piece I want to teach you on, but I do want to mention that I have a new program. I'm really excited about it, and it's called How to Change Your Past and Lose 40 Pounds. Kind of silly connection, but a really dynamite connection, actually, in my experience working with your thoughts to help you to lose weight that you've been carrying around a long time. So the requirements of that program is you have to be over 60, you have to be a survivor of child sexual abuse, you have to have been in therapy, and you have to want to lose 40 pounds. And if you meet those requirements, you can go to my website and you'll find an application there, and I will review those applications. I only have a few spots, so I'm really going to be choosing the people that are really ready to lose that weight and to change, kind of create the next part of their life to be healthy and fun and living their full potential. So I hope you, if you or someone you know that qualifies is interested, have them go to my website, www.beauprecoaching.com/workwithme. It's in the Work With Me pages of my website. So that's it for today. Next Thursday, 10 a.m., come on back and we'll do the next session, and we're going to be talking all the month of December about connections. So good to be here, and I'll see you next week.